What is up, you guys? I'm Charmx. Today, I'm going to be reacting to popular conspiracy theories by Shane Dawson, or Shane, as he now goes. But hopefully this is going to be quite interesting. I actually really like conspiracy theories. And, I mean, of course, the majority of them are just stupid, but they're very entertaining. But then again, there also are some that have been proven to be real. So hopefully this is going to be awesome. The original link's in the description. Make sure you go subscribe to Shane if you haven't already. Without any further ado, let's begin.
Warning. What you are about to watch may make you question everything you thought you knew. Viewer discretion is advised.
That's a sick intro.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, welcome back. Now, you might have noticed a few changes around here. We got a new intro, a new background, same shirt. But the main thing that is going to change with these conspiracy videos is I'm going to go even darker. So if you are—
oh boy! Just what I wanted. Just what I wanted.
Triggered by suicide or murder or possible abuse of children in Hollywood, then you might want to leave
Maybe that's not what I wanted. Maybe that's not what I wanted.
this video. Now today we're going to talk about a lot of different theories, some involving the secrets of Apple, some involving a possible World War III, and we're even going to talk to the star of Riverdale, Madeleine Petsch, about some of the very disturbing Riverdale conspiracy theories.
Riverdale, like the Netflix show Riverdale, which is based off of like a comic book? What?
Alright, you guys, let's get into it. That's right, we're
Did that say iPhone slowing down conspiracy theory? This one I'm pretty sure is actually true.
starting with Apple conspiracies. And you might have noticed another little thing I added. Before every conspiracy from now on, I'm gonna put a little believability scale. 1 Illuminati sign means this shit's stupid. But 5 Illuminati signs means this isn't even a theory. This is a fact. And that's exactly what this first one is. So we have been talking about Apple purposely slowing down our phones every time they have a new one coming out forever. And then recently we learned that it's true.
Today's Tech Bites, Apple admits to slowing down older iPhones.
So Apple said,
I don't like Apple. I really don't. Basically, any other phone's better than Apple, in my opinion. I mean, you can have your own opinion. Like, my friends like Apple. I personally prefer Samsung over Apple, but yeah, anyway.
says it slows down the processors on older iPhones to prevent battery issues that could cause the phones to suddenly shut down or restart.
Now, over the years, there's been tons of studies about this. Every time a new iPhone comes out, the Google search results for "why is my iPhone slowing down" skyrocket. Well, people started going from theorizing to actually pursuing lawsuits against Apple. And because of all these lawsuits, Apple finally admitted what we knew all along. As lithium batteries age, they get weaker. So we had to slow the phone to avoid the phones crashing to compensate for the naturally deteriorating battery. Or in other words, we purposely slow down your phones, you fucking idiots. And
They should have came out and said that originally. They really should have came out and said that originally, you know. They should have said that, you know, the older phones are going to be slower because the battery can't keep up with the technology or something like that. They should have come out and said that to begin with. They shouldn't have kept it in the dark for so long.
the only reason they admitted this was because they were getting sued. And it makes you wonder, what else are they hiding? I mean, think about it. Apple owns us. They have our private photos, our voice memos, our fingerprints, our face scans, and they claim—
Not me! I don't friggin' have Apple. And even on my Samsung phone, I cover up all that crap with tape because I have paranoia 100.
claim that they keep it all private, but they also claim that they didn't slow down our phones, so— life imitating art. We've seen it over and over again. Donald Trump being the president on The Simpsons, and then Donald Trump being president in real life. A statue in the 1600s, and then Lindsay Lohan passed out in 2007 outside a club. And then, of course, a crazy one, Walter White on Breaking Bad. And then right after the show premiered, there was a real Walter White, who got caught building a massive meth empire in Alabama. And then some—
Now the question is, was he, or was that Walter White, inspired by the TV Walter White? Or was it like the other way around, when like maybe a producer knew this Walter White and decided to make a TV show based off of it or something like that? You never know.
Now, we've talked about news channels faking things for a long time. They've been caught setting up a crime scene and filming in front of it, even though it didn't exist.
As many as 4 bodies may be
Really?
buried here.
It can
Really? I mean, I've heard of people setting up fake crime scenes, and I think there was one recently, like last year, where they were setting up something. I didn't know they actually went as far as to go, like, set up their own, like, police tape and whatnot.
Get really fucked up really fast. On June 4th, CNN got accused of staging an
That's the one I remember.
ISIS protest in London. Now, this is a behind-the-scenes clip, and it's insane. So first you see them setting up the shot of the protest. Then you see the producers putting all of the protesters in their place. And then you see the producers laying down flowers in front of the protesters' feet and putting flowers in their hands. And then moments later, you see what it looks like on the actual news.
What I want to show you now, viewers, is a wonderful scene. There are
a wonderfully staged scene.
Flowers on the street here. Ladies with hashtag turn to love.
Yeah, they literally act like, oh, here we are, we just caught a protest. We saw them placing people. We saw them handing them signs, putting flowers at their feet. Now, of course, CNN came out.
And it's not really a protest when there's only like 10 people there. I mean, that's kind of just like a miniature gathering, right? And besides, everyone knows CNN is one of the worst news outlets, so, I mean, are you really surprised? Are you really surprised?
Out and said, no, 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 it was not fake. We just set up a shot and we had some of the protesters from over there come over here. And maybe that's true, but it's hard to believe the news sometimes when they do things like this.
Good morning. Well, obviously we're getting a nice break from the rain, but not the flooding. This is essentially now a part of the Passaic River in this neighborhood.
Yeah, she was in a fucking canoe. Just to scare everybody. Oh.
It's only like a few inches deep, and like, hey, you know what? Get the canoe. We can make this really dramatic.
Oh my god, the water's so high, we're in canoes! But one of my favorite moments of the news getting caught faking something happened with Nancy Grace. Now in this clip, Nancy Grace is doing a satellite interview with another reporter. Huh. Kinda looks similar, right?
I want you to pay attention to the red truck and the bus. Red truck, bus, bus.
Nancy Grace and the woman she's having a satellite interview with is in the same parking lot.
You see this red SUV drive behind Ashley Banfield and then immediately behind Nancy Grace.
And not just the same parking lot. 3 parking spots away from each other.
Hey, it might have been a satellite interview though, right? Like, they might have been using satellites to communicate to each other. So like, you couldn't hear the person over there, so you have to rely on the satellite to, you know, come through your ear or whatever so you can hear them. See, although it's very scummy and a very shady thing to do, it technically still is a satellite interview.
What? Why did they do a satellite interview? Why are they faking that? I mean, that one's insane. But the biggest scandal of all time when it comes to faking the news is this clip. Back in 1990, a CNN reporter named Charles Jacko was covering the Persian Gulf War. Now, he's supposedly in Saudi Arabia outside of a hotel. Well, then an angry staff member at CNN leaked this clip years later.
Let me say hi. Geopolitics by Dan Quayle.
I know what you're thinking, well, maybe they're just having fun. But then he starts playing with what looks to be a prop of a missile.
This is a Scud. Now, when you detect this, you can tell it's been launched. Thank you.
I know.
What?
Like, what? Well, then he starts playing with his emergency mask.
Let me just size my mask and fit it for a second, just like I always do.
It seems kind of like a set, right? There's no wind. When the camera pans over, you see some wood. It almost looks like a...
Oh, yeah, it is a set. Is anyone surprised here?
A fake wall. Well, but then you see what it looks like when he's reporting live.
Because of military regulations, we are not allowed to show you where the missiles might be going. What?
Wow, that's different. He's panicking, holding his earpiece. Well, remember earlier in the clip when he was asking whether or not he should test out that face mask? You're about to find out why.
CD, if you need to take cover, I notice that you've got your gas mask in your hands. If you need to put it on, please do so. If you need to take cover.
Like say...
I mean, come on. Now you're probably wondering, what did that man say when this clip started to go viral? Well, he sent an email to the person that posted the clip, and he said this. Our coverage was on the roof of a hotel. The plywood background was erected as a guard against the sand and windstorms. And the clowning around in the video is just that. We use black humor to deflect the tension of covering Scud missile assaults. And then he showed some pictures of what the actual hotel in Saudi Arabia looks like. And it looks pretty similar. You have the blue walls, you have the palm trees, you can even see the plywood that they set up to guard from the winds. And as much as I hate to say this because you know how much I love a conspiracy, I believe him. I mean, all the proof is there. It was years ago. Why would he still lie about it? But man, oh, that clip was weird.
Wait, so it was real or fake? Because it does sound quite realistic that, you know, it could have been fake, but it also sounds real that it could have been real at the same time. I don't friggin' know.
Side note, that's something I want to start incorporating more into these videos too. If I find out that a theory I've talked about has been debunked, I want to bring it up because I think people should be looking deeper and deeper into them. And not just thinking everything is true, because some of these theories end up being bullshit.
Boy, did I almost look stupid.
I know what you're thinking. Shane, how are there conspiracy theories about wildfires? I had the same question, and then I fell down the hole on the internet, and oh my god. So as you already know, there have been so many fires spreading through California the last few months. And some of the footage...
But doesn't that happen like every year there are fires? I mean, I think this year has been the worst, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure every year there are fires in California. So how could there be conspiracy theories around this?
Which is insane. Right off the freeway, an entire mountain filled with flames. Celebrities' houses getting evacuated.
Thank God for this event this morning because I got up at 5:30 and everyone came to the house and they're like, we need to leave.
And the fires are incredibly spread out, but some of the footage of the aftermath had a lot of people confused.
So the recent California fires are very strange and suspect. In drone footage of the aftermath, we see houses completely obliterated.
But why are the trees fine? That's weird. Why are the trees fine? Look at those trees. If there was a forest fire, those trees would have been burned down. Why are the trees fine? Is that part of the conspiracy? But like, to me, that just seems weird.
And turn to ash while the surrounding landscapes and trees are totally fine.
Yeah! That's weird. That's weird. In a forest fire, that would have been burnt down. There's no way those trees would have survived. Yeah, that's so weird. That is bizarre.
That's right. If you look at some of this footage,
wow,
all of the houses are completely leveled, but then all the trees in the neighborhood are fine.
You'll notice here that stores and restaurants are wiped out while other things are still in perfect shape.
Well, then I looked into it, and a couple scientists came out and said, well, the trees are wetter than usual, so that's why they're not that flammable.
If that's the case, there wouldn't be a freaking forest fire, right? If that's the case, all the trees around in the forest and whatnot would be wet too, and therefore, they wouldn't burn down because they're wet. But in that case, like, there was like a building, and it was burnt down, but all around it was fine. And like, the trees were fine, the trees were green, and all around the building was, you know, concrete, it was pavement. For like a parking lot or whatever. How did that building burn down? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a conspiracy right there, folks.
But then I did a quick Google and I found a lot of videos of neighborhood trees burning down to nothing. Now, one of the craziest clips I think I've ever seen is a clip of a tree that a guy found that was burning from the inside out.
A haunting but mesmerizing scene from the wildfires in Sonoma County. A man came across this tree burning from the inside out.
Now, that situation doesn't happen in a forest fire. The only time trees really burn like that is when they're struck by lightning. I know.
That was awesome. And also kind of crazy. Imagine if you were closer to that. That's crazy but awesome at the same time.
That was intense. But this is what the trees look like right after that. Yeah, they look exactly like the tree that supposedly caught fire during one of the wildfires. So you're probably thinking, Shane, where is this going? One word: lasers.
Laser.
Okay, hear me out. I know this sounds crazy, and
lasers. Alright, so this conspiracy so far has been my favorite, and the most, I'd say the most believable, I don't know. Like, the faking news, that's been happening for a long time. But this, like he showed, there were footage of buildings that were just flattened and no trees burnt. So, like, obviously, it sounds as if someone burnt them down or something. I don't know. Like, that's so bizarre. How does that How does that happen? How do the buildings burn, but the trees do not burn? How is the fire spreading? I don't friggin' know. That's weird.
100% thought it was bullshit until I really started looking into it. Now, the theory is that the government might have been testing out some direct weapons. Now, these weapons would be in the form of lasers, and the damage they would cause would be way worse than any fire could do. Imagine if the government did figure out how to do laser weapons.
They actually, technically, they already have laser weapons. I know there is a, it's not an aircraft carrier, it's some kind of boat that they have, but there's a massive, like, laser on it, and they can actually destroy little boats that come towards a ship. So if you're like a Somali pirate, and you're coming and trying to attack this massive ship, the laser will destroy your boat, which is kind of crazy. So they already have those kind of weapons, but as far as them being able to fit on a plane, I don't think that's believable, because, like, the weapon itself is so massive, you couldn't fit that on a plane. The technology isn't that advanced yet, so I don't know.
What kind of damage they could do to their enemies?
Here's a laser at a power of 1 watt.
A 1 watt laser can light a match. Imagine then the power of a 500 trillion watt laser. That's exactly what they've built here at the National Ignition Facility in California.
Yeah.
Go big or go home, right?
That's right. They literally are building that giant laser in California. Now, this is the craziest part. In a movie back in the 80s called RoboCop, this happened.
I love RoboCop.
Top story, Santa Barbara. 10,000 acres of wooded residential land were scorched in an instant when a laser cannon aboard the Strategic Defense Peace Platform misfired today during routine startup.
What? What? Yo, that's crazy. Oh wait, that's from a movie. That's from a movie. Okay. Okay, I was for some reason I was thinking that was actual news footage. Like, this has already happened before. No. So that's just, you know, from RoboCop. Which, as a side note, RoboCop, it's a good movie, but it's a lot more violent than I thought it was. Like, when I originally saw it a few years ago, like, I was expecting it to be more family friendly, but no, it was quite graphic.
Literally, laser weapons hit the same exact locations that the California wildfires are. And here's the thing that's even crazier. When a fire burns down a house, it still leaves some of the house. Yeah, it's black and yeah, it's all fucked up, but there's a little bit of structure still there. But when you look at the aftermath of these California wildfires, there is nothing. Not just houses have been leveled down to the ground, but even cars. Glass and metal have been melted. So how could glass and metal in these cars be melted? How could these houses be leveled down to nothing? Lasers. Now, remember earlier when I showed you that clip of the tree that was burning from the inside out? Now, supposedly that happened from the wildfires, but it looked more like it happened from getting struck by lightning. And what did that clip look like? Lasers! There's even...
This is a great conspiracy, and it's quite believable. Well, some of it is, some of it isn't. I think a lot of the clips are getting mixed up, if that makes sense. Like, some of them look like it was from a fire. Some of them look like it was not from a fire. Like, some of them, the trees were burnt down, and some of them, the trees were not burnt down. So it looks like there's some confliction going on in regarding to the clips and whatnot. I don't know. I might just be completely lost.
Tons of clips of people saying that their own house lit on fire, but nothing around them did.
There was no other fire around us. It just caught some of the shrub, I guess embers, I'm not sure.
And to
yeah, see, that's suspicious. That's suspicious.
This day, we still don't know the true reason why all of these fires so far apart from each other happened. Yeah, they're saying the high winds and the dry land, but these specific fires were some of the biggest fires in history. And this is the final thing I heard that made me think maybe this isn't complete bullshit. Now, Trump is all about winning. If we go into a war, he wants to conquer it.
I'm really good at war. I love war in a certain way.
If we have a big weapon, he probably wants to make it bigger.
Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay?
So if he found out that the government did have the capability of laser weapons, and he knew that North Korea is really wanting us dead right now, then why wouldn't he want to do a test? and see how the lasers worked.
I want to be unpredictable.
But obviously he can't test it on another country because then that would start a war. And what place in his own country does he hate more than anywhere else? Los Angeles.
Some celebs are just not a fan of the Donald.
If they have this massive laser, right, how would you aim it? Because laser is light. It goes in one direction. So, I'm pretty sure the ISS, the International Space Station, is that what it's called? I don't friggin' know. But I'm pretty sure it does not have a massive laser on it. So how could any, you know, base on the Earth, on the ground, be able to start fires? Because earlier in this, they showed that they're building a massive facility for a laser, right? Well, that's on the ground. That's not in the air. If it's in the air, it can hit anywhere. If it's on the ground, it's not movable, and it's really limited to a very small amount of area where it can aim, right?
He despises the people in Hollywood. He despises celebrities because they all talk shit about him.
He loves tweeting about KFC and beautiful chocolate cake and put them all together, and this is what you get.
Thick.
So why wouldn't he press that button and say, you know what? F it, let's blow up LA.
It's lasers!
Because if you remember, some of the most affected people by these fires were celebrities.
Comedian Chelsea Handler tweeted, "Just evacuated my house. It's like Donald Trump is setting the world on fire."
So not only did Trump get to test out these laser weapons, but he got to get some revenge on some of his Hollywood enemies.
I'm about to rock this place down.
Now listen, I know that all sounds very crazy, but let's not forget about life imitating art.
10,000 acres of wooded residential land were scorched in an instant when a laser cannon misfired today during routine startup tests.
Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I think there's one more story left, but I'm not going to react to it. If you want to see it, make sure you go to the original video. And, yeah, let me know what you think about this. I mean, conspiracy theories, you know, they exist. And for a portion of them, you know, they're actually true. Now, the question is, are these true or aren't they true? And as far as the lasers, I kind of believe it because, you know, they had blocks of houses burnt down, but the trees and everything around them are fine. That's really suspicious. Like, that does not happen that often. And also, it's California. How wet could the trees be, really? If we use logic here, they wouldn't be that wet. They would still get burnt down. So that's very suspicious. Anyway, with that being said, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Plus, be sure to friend if you do. And subscribe to join the family today. And also, make sure you go subscribe to Shane. That link's in the description. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.